Hello, everyone, and welcome to IELTS Insider. My name is James, and today we are going to be looking at some vocabulary, some useful words and phrases to talk about travel. So, some of the previous live streams I have done have been about phrasal verbs. And phrasal verbs can be quite difficult because they're only really used in specific situations. And we're going to look at some phrasal verbs today, and then we're going to look at some other useful words that we can use to talk about travel. So we'll give a little bit of background. We'll look at the travel words and phrases, and then there'll be time for questions and answers and a little bit of homework at the end. So, everyone, before we get started, please remember to click the like button and subscribe to the IELTS Insider YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Now, before we go on to the main part of the lesson, I can see a lot of comments coming in. Sleepwalker is here. She's saying, hello, James. And you'll probably join the lesson a little later. Okay. I look forward to seeing you later, Sleepwalker. Lavanya is saying, hello, James. How are you? I am very good today, Lavanya. Thank you very much for asking. And how are you today? And saying hello to Sleepwalker as well. Neki is here, and Neki's saying hello, James. Hello, Neki. How are you? And Layla is here as well, and she's saying she is ready for your live stream today. Okay, hello, Layla. And she's saying hello to everyone as well. Very nice. Sally Mae is here. Hi, Sally Mae. I hope you are well today. Layla is saying, I like to learn phrasal verbs. I think it's very important to study them. Yeah, I think phrasal verbs, they are a difficult part of English because sometimes they are very specific, but they are so useful when you're trying to make your speech sound more natural. So yeah, a very important part. Yeah, native speakers do use them a lot, Layla. Yeah, that's why if you do use them and use them correctly, your speech will sound a lot more natural. Neki is saying, hello, everyone. Layla, I can hear and see you, James. Thank you for letting me know, Layla. Yes, excellent. I already clicked the like button. That's good. So everybody else, if you haven't done so already, please click the like button. Lavanya's saying, I'm doing well, and a lovely little emoji with sunglasses. Lovely. Mirnawati is here as well, saying, hello, James. I have been waiting for your live streams for a few days. Yeah. So my last live stream was on Wednesday. So yeah, 4 days to wait, Mirnawati. Okay, so we've caught up with the comments. So we can move on, I think, to the first part of today's lesson, which is just to kind of look at some of the kind of common conversation topics. So a lot of conversation topics will use specific phrasal verbs. So common conversation topics, not only for the IELTS speaking test, but in general when we're talking in English, things like school and hobbies, travel, which is what we're going to focus on today, work, family and friends, hometown, crime, environment, sport, food, news, technology, shopping, education, special events. These are all really common topics. people will speak about in their everyday lives. Therefore, they are topics that will come up in the IELTS speaking test and also in the writing, listening, and reading tests as well. So it's not really all about learning for speaking. A lot of the language that we learn today is useful when it comes to reading articles, writing, listening. All of these things can be important. So, the reason I'm looking at these topics just now is when we're talking about each of these topics, quite often there is language that we only use for specific topics. And today I've chosen the topic of travel. So using these kind of more specific phrases can make you sound more natural and coherent while you speak or write. These are things that are very important for the IELTS test: coherence, fluency, the naturalness of your speech. They're all very, very important things. So, today we're going to look at travel. It's a topic that comes up often on the IELTS test. However, it is also a topic that people talk about frequently every day. Maybe people have gone away for the weekend, or it's summertime and they go on a summer holiday. People love to talk about travel. So, a lot of the things we're going to be learning today are really useful for this topic. So, by learning these phrases and words today, we can talk more naturally and fluently about this topic. And most of the language shown today will be phrasal verbs. So I've talked about this before in some live streams, but I think it's important just before we go on to talk about the phrasal verbs is to give a quick explanation of what they are. So, phrasal verbs consist of a combination of a verb and a preposition and or an adverb. So, our topic today is travel. So, just as an example, I've used the phrasal verb take off. And this is a phrasal verb that refers to a plane departing or leaving the ground. So the plane takes off. So this is a phrasal verb that's only really used to talk about travel. There is another meaning. If something takes off, it could become very popular, but that is a different meaning for a different topic. That's when we're talking maybe about new products or movie sales or something like that. Today's phrasal verbs are all going to be about travel. So when we're talking about travel, take off refers to a plane departing or leaving the ground. So when we think about the grammar with these phrasal verbs, let's look at some example sentences. The plane took off at 7:30. Here we're using the past tense. The plane hasn't taken off yet. Here we're using the present perfect tense. The plane is taking off now. Here we are using the present continuous. The plane is going to take off in 5 minutes. Here we're using future with be going to. So if you think about the grammar here, notice that the verb changes like it would in any normal sentence. Past simple, took off. Present perfect, taken off. Present continuous, is taking off. Future with be going to, is going to take off. So when we're looking at these phrasal verbs and we're changing the grammar to talk about a specific time, it's only the verb part that is changing. If we look again, the preposition here is staying the same. It never changes. We don't need to change this part. Only the verb is changing when we are using different grammar tenses. So that's something that's very important to know about how we can use these phrasal verbs correctly. So we're now going to look at a list of verbs and try to match them with a preposition. Some of the verbs can be matched with more than one preposition. So you could have one verb and it matches with two or three prepositions to make up two or three different phrasal verbs. Some of the verbs that we're going to see only will match with one of the prepositions. You should remember that these phrasal verbs must relate to travel. Okay, that's very important. They have a specific meaning. So let's look at our verbs first of all. Our verbs here are check, hurry, set, get, pick, and look. Our prepositions are up, off, in, around, on, out, and away. So what we need to do is look at each of the verbs and see, can we match it up with any of these prepositions to make a phrasal verb that relates to travel? So I'll give you a few minutes. You can write some of your ideas in the chat. I will put some of your messages on the screen. And then in a few minutes, we can look at the answers that would be correct. So, while you are typing in your answers in the chat, there's a few other comments coming in. Layla is saying, I'm always looking forward to knowing more about travel vocabulary and phrases related to them. Excellent. That's very good to know. We've got Unknown saying, I think hello, HLO. Is this shorthand for hello? Anyway, Unknown, hello to you as well. Okay, so we've got some answers coming in. Hendrik is saying check in. And Hendrik is also saying hurry up. Very good. Hendrik is also saying set on. Set on. Now, this is not a phrasal verb. Set on. Check out. Yes. Get on. Very good. Mirnawati. And Layla is saying check in. Get in and get out. Get in. Yeah, we could use get in and get out. Now, I'll come on to this in a while. This is good, Hendrik, that you've brought these up. I was kind of focusing more on traveling by bus, plane, and train. Get in and get out can be used for cars and taxis. So yes, this is correct. However, when you see my answers later, I haven't included these, but they are possible. Very nice. Hendrik is also saying pick up. Good. Mirnawati, pick up. Check out from Lavanya. Look up. Now, look up is a phrasal verb. However, it is not related to travel. Look up means to find someone that you maybe haven't seen before. You look that person up. You're trying to find them. So look up is a phrasal verb, Hendrik, but it is not related to travel. So that's something, remember, all of these phrasal verbs must relate to travel. So some of these words can fit together, but are not related to travel. Layla's saying hurry up. Lavagna's saying look around. Good, good. Hurry up from Lavagna. Look around from Layla. Get off from Neki. Good. Get away. Possible. Yes. Check in. Now, pick out is a phrasal verb, but it does not relate to travel. Pick out is one of the phrasal verbs I covered in a previous live stream. Pick out means to choose something from a group of things. So we've got a box of apples. Let's pick out the green ones and we will leave the red. So pick out is a phrasal verb, but is not related to our topic today. Neki's saying, look around. Layla, get on. Pick up. Lavagna's saying, look away. Now, look away means to turn your head. So again, this is a phrasal verb, but it is not related to travel. So that we're not going to focus on this today, Lavagna, because it doesn't relate to travel. Look away just meaning, or maybe covering your eyes or doing this. So it is not related to travel. Okay, check in, check out, good. Hurry up, good. Set in, no, this is not one. Get on, get out. Get on is good. Get out, not related to travel. Pick up, yeah. Look out, look up. So these are phrasal verbs, but again, Mirnawati, these ones are not related to travel. But I think overall, excellent here. Anna Maria is here saying good morning. Good morning, Anna Maria. Layla is saying pick up. Now, Neki, again, set up is a phrasal verb, but it's not related to travel. So, yeah, set up means to make something ready to use. For example, with my guitar, I would set up my guitar so that I can play it. So not related to travel. And we've got good morning. And again, look out, not really related to travel, Layla. This look out means be careful. Oh, look out for that thing there. So not really. For plane, we should use get on. Very good, Mirnawati. We would use get on for plane. And what other ones do we have here? Let's see. Get out. So again, get out, not necessarily related to travel. Look around. Yes, this is related to travel. Good. We covered setup before. Get away is related to travel. Yeah. And who's here? Monty Ali is saying hello. Hello, Monty. All right, guys, I think we've done quite well there. The important thing about doing this, I think, was to show you how many possibilities there are with these phrasal verbs. And remember, we're only looking at phrasal verbs that relate to travel. Get away. Who else have we got? Mei Feng Chi is saying hi, everyone. Hi. Ali is here saying YT. Okay. So let's go on and let's look at the answers I came up with. We've got check in, check out, hurry up, set off and set out, get on, get off, get away. But as Hendrik said earlier, we can also use get in and get out. So there's 5 possible matches with get. I've just chosen these 3 today. There are 2 more. We had pick up and look around. So I'm going to go through each of these and just give you some examples of how we would use these phrasal verbs. So, first of all, we've got check in and check out. And we use these phrasal verbs to talk about hotels and flights. We can use check in and check out to talk about hotels. We can use check in to talk about flights, but not check out. So, check in and check out, both of them can be used for the hotels. If we look at the example here, check in is the time you arrive at the airport or hotel to start your flight or stay at a hotel. So, it's the beginning of your journey or the beginning of your stay in a hotel. So, if it's in an airport, we would go to the reservation desk and check in. If it's in a hotel, we would go to the reception desk and check in. Check out is the time your stay at a hotel is over. So when you finish, you would go back to reception and give your key, and you are checking out of the hotel. So, some examples: our flight departs at 10 a.m., but we need to check in at 7 a.m. So, usually, if you're flying on an international flight, you need to check in usually 3 hours before your flight departs. And this word depart just simply means to leave, to go. We're going to look at this a little bit later in today's lesson. We've got an example from a hotel. All guests must check out of their rooms before 11 a.m. So, check out meaning you must finish, you must leave your room before this time. So, check in and check out, we can use in very specific occasions, talking about flights, talking about hotels. Remember, with the hotel, we can use both check in and check out. When we're using it for a flight, we're only using check in. We don't check out of a flight. So, our next one we're going to come on to today is hurry up. And hurry up simply means when something needs to be done quickly. And we want to maybe tell somebody that they need to do something quicker. Well, we'll tell them to hurry up, do something more quickly. It's commonly used when people are late for something. So maybe some of you have friends that are always late. They're always maybe fixing their hair or choosing clothes, and you have to tell them, we're going to be late, hurry up. So, really important phrasal verb when we're talking about traveling, because we don't want to be late. We don't want to miss the bus, miss the flight, or miss whichever way we are traveling. So, some examples: if you don't hurry up, you're going to miss your flight. I'm ready to go, so you need to hurry up. So, again, this is used for people who are usually late for travel. You want them to get get a move on. You want them to rush. They are going to be late. They need to hurry up. So the third one we've got here is set off or set out. And both of these phrasal verbs have the same meaning when it comes to travel. Both of them, there's no difference in meaning here. And they both mean to start a journey. So it's the beginning of a journey. So let's say we are going from Paris to Rio de Janeiro. Well, what time do we have to set off? What time does our journey start? So maybe you say we are going to set off at 9 p.m. on Monday. So that is when your journey starts, the beginning of something. Set off or set out. Now, for me, I mostly use this phrasal verb, set off. I don't know why this is, but I have heard many people using set out as well. As I said before, there is no difference between um, these two phrasal verbs. They have the same meaning when we're talking about travel. So, again, some examples. We set off for London at 3:30. We are going to set out in half an hour, means we're going to leave. We are just setting off just now, meaning we are leaving now. We are starting our journey. So, I think this is a good time for you to look at these first three phrasal verbs or three groups: check in or check out, hurry up, and set off or set out. So, what I would like you to do is try to make some of your own sentences. You can write these sentences in the chat, and I will look at them and give you some feedback on the sentences to see if you're using them correctly and give you some praise when you are using them correctly. So, you can use check in, check out, hurry up, or set off, set out. So, while we're doing this, we've got some other comments. Layla's saying hi to Mayfong. Hello, Neki. And hello at Unknown. We've got a nice bit of conversation going on between you guys. Very good. So Layla is coming in with a sentence. Our flight will depart at 6 p.m. Therefore, we have to hurry up to get to the airport. So that's the only thing that I would add here. Get to the airport. But really good. We've used depart, we've used hurry up in here. So nice use of this phrasal verb, hurry up. Very good. Make sure to check out before leaving the hotel. If you don't check out and you don't give them your key, the hotel will continue to charge you for your stay. This is an excellent sentence, Layla, very relevant as well. Make sure to check out before leaving the hotel. Your time is checkout. So I think what I would do here, Monty, is to change this into a question. Maybe what time is your checkout? So different hotels have different checkout times. Some it's 10 a.m., some 11, some 12. So maybe change this. What time is your checkout? And where are you from? I don't know who this question is for, Unknown. I'm not sure. And KM Crochet and Designs is saying hi. Hi, KM Crochet and Designs. We are ready because our journey is going to set off in a few minutes. So I would change this a little bit. I would just say maybe we are going to set off in a few minutes. We don't really need to include this part here, Layla, because when you're using set off, we know that it is a journey. So we don't really need to say that part. So just maybe we are going to set off in a few minutes would be good. Hurry up, Angel. We will miss our flight. Excellent, Neki. So we are telling someone you need to rush. You need to be ready to leave very soon. Hurry up, Angel. We will miss our flight. Perfect sentence. And we've got hello, sir. Okay. Sir. Okay. Unknown. I'm not sure. Can you try to make sentences? I'm not really sure because there's a lot of comments coming in. So I'm kind of getting lost. I know you had asked. So is this related to this one here? So are you asking me where I'm from, maybe? Okay. I come from the UK. I come from the most northern part, Scotland, and I'm from a town near Glasgow in Scotland. We are going to set off in a few minutes. Excellent. And Mum, tomorrow we have to depart at 12 a.m. We should check. Now here, Necky, if you are departing, it will have to be check in. So we should check in at 10 a.m. So we check in before we depart. So we would change this a little bit. Mom, tomorrow we have to depart at 12 a.m. We should check in at 10 a.m. I should check out at the hotel earlier so I won't miss out on my flight. I am supposed to hurry up as my flight takes off at 2 p.m. Okay. So I would just change this at to of. I should check out of the hotel earlier so I won't miss. And here we don't need to say miss out on, just miss my flight. The next part is excellent, Mirnawati. Okay, Sleepwalker is here. Hello, Sleepwalker. I have just arrived at the hotel. So here, arrived at the hotel. So I am about to check in. This part's excellent, Layla. We just need at before the hotel. I have just arrived at the hotel. So I am about to check in. Very good. Oh, hello, Sleepwalker again. Layla is saying hello. Nice to see you again and good afternoon. Okay, so we're going to move on to three more of those phrasal verbs to do with travel. And the next group were all of the gets. Now, I've only covered three: get on, get off, and get away. Hendrik earlier on used two others: get in and get out. I haven't covered them today because they're usually used for cars or taxis, which you can use when you travel. The reason I use get on and get off was because they're usually used for buses, trains, and planes, which are more commonly used for travel. But please remember, get in and get out are also possible phrasal verbs that we can use for travel. We get in a car, get out a car, get in a taxi, get out a taxi. So I thought it was important to mention that, as Hendrik did bring that up earlier. So, get on and get off are related to entering or departing modes of transport, like a bus, train, or plane. Get away is a completely different meaning. Get away is used to talk about going somewhere on holiday. So, to get away means leave your home and take a break somewhere. So, although they're both using the verb get, once we add those prepositions, the meaning changes a lot. So, get on and get off, we're using for buses, trains, planes. Get away means to go somewhere on holiday. So, let's look at some examples. I got on the wrong bus, so I'll have to change at the next stop. So here we're talking in the past, get changing to got. We need to get off the train at the next station. So leave the train. And then using get away, I'm looking forward to getting away this summer. So going somewhere this summer. So again, these are really commonly used. I think especially get on and get off, get in and get out, they're used every day to talk about this. So if you take the bus to work, I get on the bus at 7 p.m. near the train station. I get off the bus at 8 o'clock near my work. So it's something we can use in everyday English. Getaway, we're only really using to talk about our plans for a holiday, plans for a vacation. If we need to take a break, we can get away. So with get, remember we also had get in and get out as well. So a lot of phrasal verbs using get. Our next one was pick up. And this means to take someone to a place in your car, or somebody takes you to a place in their car. So, the important thing about pick up is the arrangement will have been made at some time in the past. So, it's not just happening, it's somebody has told you, I will pick you up. So it's usually an arrangement that has been made in the past, but it is someone taking you to a place in your car, or maybe on a motorbike as well. They could sit you on the back of their motorbike. That could be possible. We could use pick up for that as well, but the most common use is with a car. So let's look at some examples for this. My father is going to pick me up at the airport. So we have arranged this before. When I arrive at the airport, my father will drive his car and collect me and take me home. So my father is going to pick me up at the airport. We'll notice here that we have put the subject in the middle. This is quite, sorry, the object is in the middle. This happens quite often with phrasal verbs as well. We can split the phrasal verb and put the object in here. Pick me up. She said she would pick him up at 7:30. Okay, so she said she would go and meet him at 7:30 and take him home in his car, or take him somewhere else in her car. Joanne picked me up and took me to my dance class. So again, we're using this in the past tense to talk about something that had happened before, and meaning Joanne collected me in her car or motorcycle and then took me somewhere else. So, pick up, another very useful phrase to talk about travel. The final one we're going to look at today is look around. And this one's a little bit different because it's more about the experience while you are at your destination. So it's not so much about moving like the other phrasal verbs have been about getting on, using the bus, using trains, checking in, and so on. This one is talking about exploring a place or a building by walking around and looking at it. So when we look around a place, we're not really kind of doing anything in particular. We don't have a big plan. We're just kind of walking around and then looking, seeing what we can find. So it's commonly used when people visit new places. And this is something I love to do when I travel. So I think one of my sentences explains this. So I've got a few different sentences here. So what did you do in Tokyo? We just looked around. So we had no special plans. We just walked around the city, looking at things, maybe trying to find restaurants and things. We just looked around. I love looking around for a few hours when I visit a new city. And this is what I really love doing. The first time I visit a city, I always like to spend 2 or 3 hours just walking. looking at the buildings, looking at the people, trying to find places, maybe restaurants or art galleries or parks, whatever. Another use of it, we should look around the amusement park before deciding which rides to go on. So we've arrived at the amusement park. Do we just choose the first ride, or do we take a walk around for maybe 30 minutes and then kind of see what there is there? So look around is another very useful phrasal verb to talk about your experience in a different place. Looking at the buildings, trying to find places, really about kind of making yourself feel comfortable in a city or in a building. So, three more phrasal verbs. Well, actually, quite a lot more, but three main verbs. So, again, I would like you to try and make some sentences in the video chat using get on, get off, or get away, pick up, or look around. So, actually, let's put them all back on the screen because we had them at the beginning, didn't we? Yeah. So, 4, 5, and 6 are the ones that I would like you to practice just now. Oh, we've got a lot. Okay. So, Lavanya, when I go to get ready outside, my family members tell me to hurry up and get ready. Okay, so I would just say here, maybe Lavanya, whenever I go out, my family members tell me to hurry up and get ready. Excellent. I think we will get off the plane in a few minutes. So we just need to add one more word in a few minutes. But yep, I think we will get off the plane in a few minutes. Very nice. Okay, after arriving, I organize my schedule to set off. So I would just change this a little bit. After arriving at my destination, I set off to the attractive tourist places. I don't think we need this part here, Mirnawati. Just I set off to all the attractive tourist places. Sleepwalker, we were waiting for the opportunity to get away as soon as possible. Perfect sentence. And I think this is quite common. A lot of people they want to get away, but the times are not right. So they're waiting for that opportunity. Excellent. I set off on my tour next month. Perfect sentence, Lavanya. Let's get away. Let's get away. Here we don't need in. Let's get away this Monday. So we can just get rid of in. Let's get away this Monday. Good, Neki. KM, Crochet and Designs. I am. So here we would need going. I am going to get on to the bus at the next bus stop. Okay. So I am going to get on to the bus at the next bus stop. Very good, Sleepwalker. Don't forget to pick me up after work. Excellent sentence. She got on the wrong bus. She was panicked. So I would put panicked past tense, or maybe she was in a panic. But yeah, first part, perfect, Layla. She got on the wrong bus. Nikki, I will pick up my sister from school. So here I would split the phrasal verb and put my sister in between pick up. It just sounds a lot more natural to do it that way, Neki. I will pick my sister up from school. I will pick my sister up from school. Yeah, so pick up can also be used for other things not related to travel. So pick up is one of those phrasal verbs that has a lot of different meanings. For example, I have just picked up my mug. So it can be used for that. But when we're using it for travel, it has that specific meaning. But yet pickup has a few other meanings as well that are not related to travel. And that's something we have to be careful with phrasal verbs. Sometimes a phrasal verb will have different meanings depending on the situation. He promised. Here, Neki, I would just change this a little bit. He promised to pick me up from the airport, I think would be better and smoother. He promised to pick me up from the airport. When I got away, I got on the wrong train. Hence, I had to get off at the next bus station and ask my friends to pick me up there. Okay. So here, I wouldn't use get away here. Here I would use went away. So when I went away. So get away's got a slightly different meaning because you're talking about having traveled, go away somewhere. So I would change this. When I went away, I got on the wrong train. Hence, I had to get off at the next bus station and ask my friends to pick me up there. That's better. I have arrived in the USA. Therefore, I will start looking around for some great restaurants. So, arrived in the USA, looking around for some great restaurants. But yeah, good use of looking around. That's exactly what it means. Taking a walk, trying to find some things, trying to get a feel for the place you are in. Oh, that's the same one again. Okay, I looked around the store for that thing, but couldn't find it. So yeah, you've used this here not in a way to talk about travel, but it's correct usage of it. So it's not just about looking around cities. We can look around stores as well. It can be used for that purpose. I lost my way. I'm looking around. Okay, so here I would just change this. I have lost my way. I'm looking around and can't remember where I am. I have a vacation soon, so I want to get away somewhere. Excellent. I am bored in the city, so hmm, let's see. So here, if we think about the meaning of get away again. So get away is about traveling. So going somewhere on holiday. So you're bored in this city. Okay. So maybe I would change this. I'm bored in this city, so I want to get away to another city. Maybe I want to get away. Yeah. I think we will get off the plane in a few minutes. That's correct now, Layla. I'm going to get on the bus and go on the excursion. Excellent sleepwalker. I really enjoyed my vacation looking around the lush tropical scenery along the coast. Excellent, Mirnawati. Really good use of looking around. Hurry up to get your luggage and take a taxi. Okay. I would maybe just put Anne. Hurry up and get your luggage and maybe get in the taxi. Could be good here. Every working day in the evening, I go to pick up my son. Very good, Lavanya. She got She got on the wrong bus. She got on the wrong bus. I checked in. So here I would put to after this. I checked into the hotel and immediately decided to go for a walk. Very nice. Okay. He must hurry up and check out of the hotel. Excellent sleepwalker. So this is something that happens quite often in hotels. If you are late, you may get a phone call from the reception telling you to hurry up and get out of your room. So yeah, he must hurry up and check out of the hotel. Amin is here. Sorry I'm late, James. That's okay, Amin. No need to worry about that. Yes, excellent, Layla. Very, very nice. I looked around the nearby areas and decided to go to this museum. Very good, sleepwalker. Let's get out of this car. Okay, so get in, get out for the car. Very good. Get in a taxi. Yes. So when we're talking about cars and taxis, we would get in. When we're talking about buses, planes, trains, we would get on. So yeah, get in a taxi. Okay, so we've covered all of the phrasal verbs just now, so maybe you can go back later and look at those ones again. Let's get on at the next station. So we would need at the. Let's get on at the next station. And sleepwalker. So what's the difference between check in and check into? It's not check into, it is check in and then to. So it's not one word, into, it's into. So if we look at that sentence before sleepwalker here. So I checked in, and then we're using the word to link where we checked in. I checked in, finished, new word to the hotel. I checked in to the hotel. So it's not check in to with one word, it's check in to. So this is a grammar thing, linking the sentence together, sleepwalker. So it's not a different phrasal verb. It's still the same phrasal verb, check in. We're using to link it to the place. So yeah, again, I checked in to, not into. Okay, so I checked in to the hotel. So here, yeah, this doesn't work. I checked in the hotel. So again, when we're using check in, check out, we're going to get, so for example, if it's at the airport, I checked in at the airport. I checked in to the hotel. So they're just different words we're using to link the sentence sleepwalker. Okay, excellent. Yes, into. You got it. She's about to arrive at the airport, therefore she needs me to pick her up from there. Excellent, Layla. The stranger. So maybe I would change this. A stranger got on the bus. And maybe this is in the past. So a stranger got on the bus. Might be good. You're welcome, sleepwalker. Okay, so we've kind of looked at those different phrasal verbs there. Check in, check out, hurry up, set off, set out, get on, get off, get away, pick up, look around. So these are all very useful to talk about travel. However, we're also going to look at just some verbs that I think are really useful when we're talking about traveling or going away somewhere on a trip. So, commonly used travel verbs you should know. I have made a short list on the next page. So, when we want to talk about travel, I think these verbs are some of the most commonly used and the most descriptive ones. So, we've got arrive, depart, go, fly, drive, stay, travel, All of these verbs here are important when we are talking about traveling. So again, maybe something I've noticed in the IELTS listening is that a lot of the questions are about timetables and they're using arrival, departure times. It's important that we know these words. So the flight arrives at 12 o'clock. The flight departs at 3 p.m. So remember, arrive is when we get there. Depart is when we leave from the place we start. We've got go, and go is such a common verb that can be used to talk about so many things to do with travel. Just the fact that you go somewhere. We can also use it to talk about travel activities. We can go camping. We can go water skiing. So go is such a good verb to use when we're talking about travel. It covers so many different areas. We've got the verb fly. If you're traveling by plane, we would use this verb. So in my own case, last week I flew from Glasgow to Dubai and then flew from Dubai to Incheon. So using the word fly, I'm changing it to the past, flew. We've also got drive. A lot of people, when they travel, this is their mode of transport. We drive a car, drive a bus, maybe. Stay is really useful when we're talking about staying in a hotel or a guest house, a campsite. So I stayed in Paris for 3 days. I stayed at the hotel for 4 nights. And then obviously the topic is travel. Travel can be a noun, but it also can be a verb as well. So last month I traveled to the UK. I am going to travel to Japan next year. So again, these verbs are really, really useful and really commonly used when it comes to talking about traveling. So, can you make some sentences about travel using these words? Now, I've already noticed today some of you have been using depart, which is excellent. I remember Layla had a sentence with depart in it, so that was really good. But what about some of these other verbs? Can you try to make some sentences about travel? Remember, the topic should be travel using these words. So again, my examples from before, I stayed in a hotel for 4 days. I flew from um, Incheon to Osaka last year. Next year, I am going to go to France. So there's lots of ways we could use these words. So let's see what we've got here. Sleepwalker's got a sentence. The plane arrived at 3 o'clock without delay. Excellent. Okay, so there we've got our verb arrive. The plane arrived at 3 o'clock without delay. I flew to London 2 years ago. Excellent, Amin. We're using the past tense of fly here. I flew about 7 hours while traveling to Korea. Very good, Layla. Here I would just add in for. I flew for about 7 hours while traveling to Korea. Very good. And again, past tense, very nice. Sleepwalker is saying he drove the car all day to get to another state. Yeah. I've got some American friends and they talk about driving across states in America. It's such a huge, huge country. And they've talked about driving all day and all night to go to another state. So, yeah, I think this is a great sentence. He drove the car all day to get to another state. Amin is saying, my dream is to stay in a nice hotel in the center of New York. Perfect sentence there, Amin. And I think from what I have seen, New York has a lot of very, very nice hotels. I think as well, the hotels are a little bit expensive in New York, I mean. So make sure you take lots of money with you when you visit. But perfect sentence here. My dream is to stay in a nice hotel in the center of New York. Lovely. Sleepwalker. The flight went well. The weather was good. Okay, so we are using go in the past tense. Excellent. So the flight went well. The weather was good. So, yeah, not too much shaking of the plane and turbulence. He went to the airport 2 hours before flying. Perfect sentence, Layla. Really good use of go in the past. I stayed. So I would just change this a little bit here, Layla, and change here. I stayed in Dubai for 3 days. So I just think it's a more common structure. Now, grammatically, this one's okay. I think it's much better with in Dubai coming after stayed. I stayed in Dubai for 3 days. Lavanya, 2 months ago, I went to travel to another state. We stayed for 7 days. Now, here, Lavanya, you've used two verbs. I don't think you need to do this. What we just need to do is change travel to the past tense. I traveled to another state. So 2 months ago, I traveled to another state. We stayed for 7 days. So this part, perfect. This part, we don't need the two verbs. Just I traveled to another state would be much better there. James, in Russia, you can travel for 6 days by train across the country. Now, Sleepwalker, this is one of my dreams to do. I would love to take the Trans Siberian Express from Vladivostok to Moscow. So I have thought about this for years. I think it looks like a fantastic train journey and going right through Siberia. Some of the scenery I think would be amazing. So, yeah, this is something I would love to do one day, Sleepwalker. So, just after travel, we would put in for. You can travel for 6 days by train across the country. Mei Fong is saying, by the time I arrived at the airport, the plane had departed. So we just need to change the grammar a little bit. Arrived at the airport, the plane had departed. So ed ending on the end, Mei Fong. We decided to stay here for a few more days. Perfect sentence, Sleepwalker. My my bus is going to arrive at about 2 p.m. Or maybe arrive. No, no, this is fine. My bus is going to arrive about 2 p.m. Yeah. I stayed in Dubai for 3 days. For. We need for here. Due to terrible weather, we will arrive late. So I would change this. We will arrive about 5 minutes late. We will arrive about 5 minutes late. So just change the word order there, Mirnawati. Oh, is this about Trans-Siberian Express one? Okay, yeah, yeah. By the time my friend will be arriving in my country. Okay. My friend will be arriving in my country. But being on a train for 6 days is not easy. Yeah, I don't think it would be easy, but I think it would be worth it. I think from what I've seen on the TV Sleepwalker, there are some places the train can stop for a few hours. You can get out and walk around. But yeah, it you might go a little bit crazy on a train for 6 days. Neki, I flew from DY Airports, Tajikistan to Incheon Airport, South Korea 11 years ago. So just take the S off of airports and airport, just singular and singular here. Apart from that, Neki, that's perfect. I flew from DY Airport, Tajikistan to Incheon Airport, South Korea 11 years ago. Travel for 6 days. Yep, sleepwalker. That's correct. We stay in our guest house. We stay in our guest house. I think this would be more commonly, if you want to change this, maybe we usually stay in our guest house or we stayed in our guest house would be better here. I will depart on the 27th March. Perfect sentence, Neki. Really good there. I'm going to get on the bus in 10 minutes. Perfect. Oh, no, no. I am going to. So sorry here, Layla. We just get rid of go to. I am going to get on the bus in 10 minutes. So I am going to get rid of go to. And we've got a perfect sentence. Of course, there are stop. It can be about 1 hour. So yeah. So 1 hour maybe wouldn't be enough, I think, to kind of get some fresh air around the place. Traveling around the world is my dream. Therefore, I have to set a plan to go to some countries. Excellent use of the verb travel. That's also another one of my dreams, Mirnawati, to travel around the world, but it's very difficult and very expensive. I stayed, Stayed. I stayed in Dubai for 3 days. So this one, I would just change Lavanya early to come at the end of the sentence. I arrived at the exam hall early. So I arrived early. So this, again, this is okay, but I think more commonly putting it at the end would be better. I arrived at the exam hall early. I'm going to get on the bus in 10 minutes. Perfect, Layla. You would probably like. Now I know, so I know a little bit of information about this place, Sleepwalker. Lake Baikal, I think, is the deepest lake in the world. It goes like really, really deep. I can't remember how deep it is, but I remember reading that somewhere, and I heard it's really, really beautiful round about Lake Baikal. So yeah, there's some beautiful places there. Yeah, I would really love to do that. It was another typo. Don't worry, Layla. It's okay to make typos. Okay, so that is correct. It is the deepest lake in the world. Yeah. Um. So here we can change this a little bit, Neki. We want to say maybe they decided. We don't need are. So they decided to travel to China. We don't need traveling because we're using to. It would always be followed by the base verb to travel, to fly, to drive. So get rid of the ing and then we'll put the time at the end of the sentence. So they decided to travel to China next month or in the next month. So they decided to travel to China in the next month. Okay. All right, guys, I think we've had some good sentences there. And hopefully, the practice that we have tried. Now, just before I go on to explain that, Lavanya's come up with an important question. Please explain depart. So depart simply means when you leave one place. So let's say we are going to take a bus from, I don't know, let's say from Paris to Bordeaux. So the bus is going to depart from Paris. That is where it starts. That's where it is going to leave. So the bus will depart, and we can usually use depart from to talk about the place that the journey starts, and depart at to talk about the time. So I'll give you an example sentence here, Lavanya. The bus will depart at 10 a.m. That means that is the time that it will leave. The bus will depart from Paris Central Bus Station. So that meaning the bus will leave from that place. So depart is the beginning of the journey. Arrive is the end of the journey. So I hope that explains it clearly for you, Lavanya. Max Mudov, I highly recommend Asian countries. For example, Uzbekistan is famous for landmarks. Okay, I don't know much about Uzbekistan. However, I have been to some Uzbeki restaurants and the food is amazing. I love Uzbek food. So yeah, I don't know many of the famous landmarks, I am Max Mudov, but I do know I love the food. Sleepwalker, the plane departed at 5 p.m. from Moscow. Excellent. So there we've got the time using at, we've got the place from. So Lavanya, if you look at this sentence here, the plane departed. So this is when the journey began. The beginning of the journey was at this time, and the place that the journey started was Moscow. So excellent sentence, Sleepwalker. Unknown, the plane will depart at 5 p.m. So here, unknown, we cannot use departed because departed is past tense. If we're using will, it's future tense. We cannot have future and past in the same sentence here. So we just take off the ed. The plane will depart at 5 p.m. You're welcome, Lavanya. Okay, everyone. So we've had some good practice with our phrasal verbs today and also these verbs as well. So for your homework, what I would like you to do is try to use some of the language we've talked about in the class today. So that is the phrasal verbs that we've studied and the verbs that we looked at the end. And I want you to use them to write about the last trip you went on. So this could be a one-day trip. It could be you went on holiday for 1 week, or it could be two nights, whatever. It doesn't matter about the length of the trip or where you went. So it could be just going to another city nearby or whatever. But it's to write about the last trip you went on. So the reason I'm doing this is I would like you to be practicing using some past tense verbs to write. So when we looked at that earlier today, we had, if we look at, for example, arrived, departed, went, flew, drove, stayed, traveled. Those would be the kind of verbs. Again, when we're using our phrasal verbs, they would be things checked in or checked out, hurried up, set off, set out, same there. Got on, got off, got away, picked up, looked around. So it's always good to get, when you're learning this vocabulary, is to try and use them with some different grammar tenses. So, you're going to write about the last trip you went on. You should try to use some of the words and phrases from this lesson. You can write as much or as little as you wish. If you've only got enough time to write 2 or 3 sentences, that's fine. If you want to write more, write 10 sentences, that's fine. It's up to you. You can write as much or as little as you would like. You can write your answer in the comment section of this video on YouTube. So once this video has finished and it's posted on YouTube, write your answer in the comments and I will give you feedback on your answers. So the homework, write about the last trip you went on. Remember to try and use some of the words and phrases. Now, I don't mean use all of them. Only use them if it's necessary, but you should be trying to use maybe 2 or 3 at least of the phrases and words we've looked at today. So that is our homework. Let's just see. We've got a couple of other comments come in Lavanya's saying, the train departs at 3 a.m. from New Delhi. Perfect here. Yeah, perfect sentence now, Lavanya. So we've got the time using at before the time and from before the place. Perfect. Oh, what a question, Sleepwalker. Yeah. Do you know, I don't know, but it will be thousands. There will be thousands of phrasal verbs, I think. Do you know, I will try to find an answer for this before the next live stream, Sleepwalker, because I cannot give you an answer just now. And there may not be a clear answer to this question. But yeah, I really, really don't know. Let me Google this quickly and see how many phrasal verbs are in English. Oh, okay. Sleepwalker. I'll put the answer here. This has surprised me a little bit, but I did say thousands. The answer I got from Google was more than 5,000. Wow. That is a lot. So I thought it would be thousands, more than 5,000. Now, obviously, I don't think you really need to learn every phrasal verb, but there are some ones that I think are very important and you should learn. So yeah, more than 5,000. Okay, excellent, Layla. You're very welcome. I am glad that you found that useful. Layla is saying it's impossible to count them. Yeah, we learn them through reading and listening to native speakers. Sleepwalker, oh my. Yeah, but don't worry too much about that. Sleepwalker, nobody is expecting people to learn every phrasal verb. I don't know every phrasal verb, I'm sure. So yeah, what is important as we learn the main important ones for each topic that we want to do. Lavanya, very nice comment. 5,000 minus 6. We learned 6 today. Excellent. Yeah, I thought that was very funny as well, Sleepwalker. Okay. Yeah, we could make up a short story. If you want, that would be okay, Mirnawati. Yeah, no problem. So, guys, on that note, we are going to end today's live stream. Thank you, everybody, for your input in the comments. I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you all in the next live stream. All right, everyone. Bye for now.